Well, welcome to July.
Good morning, Vietnam. Sorry, I'm on a Robin Williams kick.
Yeah.
Big fan of the Robin Williams. Big fan.
Big fan. He's funny. He's wonderful.
Very funny guy. Talented actor.
Very talented.
Love his choices.
Did we start our show just by talking about Robin
just
Williams?
now?
Yeah. We just started our show. Hello, everybody.
I like to reminisce about stuff that just happened.
And let's make up new stuff so that we can reminisce about it immediately, okay?
Yeah, I like to reminisce about stuff.
Yeah, let's make sure that's happening. Wow.
That's my Sid Caesar impression. That's
okay.
That's all I do, though.
That's all you do?
Yeah.
That's it?
That's it.
Dang.
Big fan of the Sid Caesar.
Wait a second. You just said that about Robin Williams.
Him, too. Did I have to pick?
Yes.
Okay.
You can only have one favorite.
Good morning, America and the world. Is it morning or are we an afternoon show?
We have no idea. We're all around the world, so basically,
so it's 5 o'clock somewhere then.
It's 5 o'clock somewhere, and it's also 6 a.m.
It's dawn somewhere. Yeah,
it's dawn and
the sun
it's sunset.
never sets on the British Empire.
Is that true?
Not anymore. It used to be.
Why?
Because Britain owned half the world.
Aha!
When they were in charge.
I see. That's where that phrase came from.
Yeah, the sun never sets on the British Empire.
Well, since we're talking about politics,
okay, yeah, let's talk about politics. So, who was I watching? I was watching somebody, and they were talking about John Kerry and John Edwards. And it turns out that John Kerry's family, his wife, she's the widow of the heir to the Heinz ketchup fortune. Did you know that? Her name is Teresa. Her name is Teresa Heinz.
Okay, I believe I know that she was very, very rich.
Yeah, she's very rich. She inherited it from her dead husband, and her husband was the heir to the fortune, the Heinz fortune, and she's worth $1 billion.
That's nice.
They thought it was 500 million, but they've just established now that it's actually closer to $1 billion.
That would be very nice.
So John Kerry's family is worth about $1 billion, and John Edwards is worth about 70 million, and they've been talking about middle class values. Right?
And John Edwards is considered probably middle class to them. Is that correct?
That's the joke. That's exactly what Rush Limbaugh said. He said, if you're a billionaire, having $70 million makes you middle class.
Yeah.
That's exactly what he said.
Yeah, but that's not what the middle class really truly means. You and I are the middle class, truly.
Who's the guy? Conan O'Brien. He's on late nights as well, and he said that the two of those guys are so rich. They're so rich they've decided to vote Republican. That was really
they changed their platform because they have so much money.
Well, yeah.
The Democrats, two Democrats.
There's a guy on Jeopardy. You don't watch Jeopardy. They just changed their rules.
How do you know?
Because you're working.
Oh, okay.
I just assumed you were working.
I am working during Jeopardy time.
I just assumed.
Yeah.
You don't really do much except work.
Exactly. Hey, Cass, what have you done today?
You don't even like sleeping. You just pretty much work.
What have you been doing?
What are you doing? Working. You don't relax well. You need to learn. You need to take some lessons on how to relax.
Yeah, how does that go?
Yeah, maybe I should teach you because I'm real good at it.
Oh, okay. Well, we're the balance.
It's one of my greatest skills.
One of your greatest skills is relaxing.
How to relax, yeah. How to put your feet up.
Oh, good.
With a newspaper and a good book.
Yeah, that's not relaxing
to me.
I'd be
not the good book. Don't misunderstand me. I don't read
the good book. I'm saying, how is that relaxing though? For me, anytime I read anything, I'm usually working on something.
You're planning to do something further. Yeah,
exactly. I'm reading some instruction manual.
Yeah, some instruction manual.
Or, some self-help book to overcome the struggles of being a white woman in America. It's been tough, ladies and gentlemen. It's been tough.
How's that whole therapist thing working out? Did she kick you out of her office yet for not having enough problems?
We can't help you, Miss Crews.
My therapist kicked me out of her office. She said I had fewer problems than she did. So.
Well, I like your method of modus operandi. Your modus operandi is.
You want me to fix that phrase for you because you're close. You're very close.
No.
The English is method of operation. The Latin is modus operandi.
I like doing the little mixture.
You like them to mix them up?
I like to mix them up. It's called diversity.
I like it. It's called diversity.
Let me make my own language,
Hey,
please.
if other people can make up words, so can I.
Exactly.
This stuff isn't carved in stone. You want to make up phrases?
It's called a living language.
It's a living language.
Hello, living language. Let me expand you.
Yeah, let me expand you.
Let me expand our little thoughts and our little beliefs.
It's all about usage. Hey, in a world where hot and cool mean the same thing, you can pretty much make up any words you want.
Exactly.
See, when I was young, sick and fat, those were bad things. Now they're good things.
Now they're good things.
Sick and fat, yeah.
That's sick.
Ooh, man, that's sick.
Hey, that's fat.
That chick was fat. And that's a good thing.
That's a PH, okay?
That's a PH, yeah,
that's
exactly.
a PH-AT.
Oh, yeah, I can hang with the brothers. I'm hip. Don't look at me like I'm Frankenstein. I'm hip.
Dan,
not so hip.
You're a big white guy.
You might be surprised how flexible I am.
I'm sure you're pretty flexible, but still, you're a big white guy.
I deal with a lot of different people. I am a big white guy.
I didn't say
and
that.
I recognize that. Really, I do.
It's a good thing because I hope when you look in the mirror, you go, I am a big white guy.
I said to a friend of mine once, I said, why didn't you tell me I was getting fat? He goes, what, your mirror don't work?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
what you have a hard time looking in the mirror at yourself? Did you forget who you were?
Well, I have.
Don't you know me?
Don't you know? I have dysmorphia.
Dysmorphia?
Yeah, which means you don't recognize your own body. You don't see yourself as yourself. You're sort of detached from yourself.
What do you see yourself as? A big jellyphant? Jellyphant.
Alien. Visitor from Rigel 7, pretty much.
Okay, you jellyphant.
I'm a jellyphant, yeah. Tres elephants. Tres elefantes.
Tres elefantes.
Yeah.
Okay. Tres elefantes.
Were we talking about politics?
I think we were.
I think so. We were trying to.
We came back to the self-image again.
Oh,
because
yeah.
really, politics, I think, have so much to do with how we view ourselves as a society. And really...
And also how the politicians present themselves. I mean, that's a huge deal about how they present themselves.
How they present themselves, because that's the show. That's the Dog and Pony show. That's who they are. It's a big, huge Dog and Pony show. That's why they call it politics.
It's a popularity contest.
It's a popularity contest.
It's high school all over again.
True.
Yeah.
That's true. And remember when in high school you thought it was really geeky to be in the student body and run for that. And...
I was class president.
Oh, damn.
But you go ahead.
Yeah. Oh, dang it. Let me finish with that story.
Well, I was a very ineffective president, if that helps at all.
Oh, hey, you fit right in. What ineffective decisions did you make?
I don't even recall. I remember running. I think
you basically did nothing.
Of course. What are you supposed to do?
You ran
junior
and
high
you said,
or something. Yeah.
I am the president.
Yeah, I think I had a bake sale.
I think I had a
bake sale. I forget what it was.
Made some funds. You raised some funds.
Yeah.
You learned how to get a sponsor.
The car wash to raise funds for the bake sale has been canceled due to confusion.
Was that your platform?
No, that's The Simpsons.
Oh, okay.
God, I love The Simpsons.
Simpsons are pretty funny.
They just over and over again, just all the jokes, all the little details.
Well, they get to play with everything.
It's just amazing how funny they are, and just all the little details. It's remarkable the humor that they come up with.
Well, they get to play with everything. They get to do a little bit of everything and get to
they do
talk about anything that they want to, and that's really important.
But it's also very clever.
Well, you hope that anything that you're going to be interested in is going to be clever. Hopefully.
Except politics.
Well, politics...
You just want that to be responsible.
Yeah, but politics is... Some people I know find it extremely interesting, and it's just... When you really start understanding how it works, it makes you kind of sick. Because it's pretty sickening what we've created. The bureaucracy that we've created, the I want to say irresponsible, but I'm sure that's not a word, right?
Irresponsible is a word.
Okay. The irresponsible.
You're thinking of irrelevant.
The irresponsibility.
No, wait, you're thinking of irregardless. Because irrelevant is also a word.
There you go.
You're thinking of irregardless.
Okay.
Yeah.
But irresponsible people are in charge of certain organizations and in charge of certain things, and they misappropriate the funds, and it's just very sad, and it's very sick.
Well, any system that is run by humans takes on characteristics of humans, and humans are fallible, humans are greedy, humans are notoriously selfish, and operate in their own self-interest for the most part.
Well,
so when you have access to billions of dollars, certainly you try and essentially that's how you get elected, is by making promises. If John Kerry promises one more thing to one more frickin' group, I'm going to go insane.
Well, you better get ready.
Really. I
Get ready to
go
insane
because he's gonna. You're right.
He's gonna.
You're
because
absolutely
he
right.
has to.
I mean, even
in order to even win, he has to. For some reason, we've pushed people into making false promises or promising things to people to give them money so they can get elected because it costs so much money to get elected. But
in order to get someone's vote, you have to promise to do something for them.
Well,
that's the problem. But it's not about the greater good. It's about what is this going to get. That's why old people, want Medicare reform.
Right.
And they want.
But let's just say a couple of
parents want better schools.
Let's just say a couple of fundamentals, though, for all. America is the greatest country in the world. There's no doubt about that.
I agree.
No doubt about that. I'm.
In fact, not only the greatest country in the world, but the greatest country in the history of the world. But you go ahead.
Okay. And that's true because we can actually have this conversation. We have the internet where we have freedom of speech, true freedom of speech.
Thank God for the Founding Fathers. They established a concept, not just a country, but also a concept where the government is answerable to the people. Do you understand how unique that is in the history of humankind?
Absolutely, because it used to be all monarchies and tyrannies,
and whoever had the biggest army and the best weapons.
Exactly, whoever could kill the most people. Yeah. It was all about
and it still is that all over the world. It still is that all over the world,
except here.
Well, and other places as well. I mean, other democracies. It's not like that anymore.
Well, democracy in general, but we are the founding fathers of democracy.
Right.
But we don't have a real true democracy, and that is what I know the founding fathers really built the country on. And
actually, they didn't. They built what they built, and you're right. It's not a true democracy.
It's not a true democracy, right. But
which is actually okay because a true democracy degenerates quickly into mob rule.
Oh, lovely.
So there are systems in place to protect the minorities. That's the whole point. So you're right. We do have a representative republic, it's called. Mm-hmm. It's not technically a democracy. Mm-hmm. But there are democratic values in place that ensure that the majority does rule. Mm-hmm. But because then you get the broadest cross-section of opinions. The broadest spectrum of opinion and accountability as well.
But what happens...
But that doesn't mean that the majority gets to decide everything because you have to protect individual rights. So if 51% of the people vote to take away the property of the other 49%, you can't do that, even though essentially that is a democracy. That's a democratic issue. I read a great article just last week, and they talked about the rights of the Shiites in Iraq to impose what's called Islamic law, which is called Sharia or Sharia. I'm not sure how to pronounce it. I've only read it. I've never heard it said. But Sharia doesn't have individual rights, and it is mob rule, and people are put to death for minor crimes, and women have no rights, and children have no rights. And that's just not how it should be. That's not but essentially that is a democracy for the majority to decide everything. But there has to be a system in place to protect the rights of the minority.
Right, but before we even go to the system, because the system is a very large subject, and this also is a very large subject, but the thing that I have that I think is the most disrespectful piece of our government towards America is the unaccountability of our politicians and how they can they can vote themselves a raise, they can promise people things because they have to, because they need campaign funding to get elected, all the corruption that goes on and promises that have to be made, and then the things that are not for the greater good of the people, even against probably the people that are running as well, but they know that they need to fulfill that promise so they can have that backing for the next year or the next campaign go around. It's sad. That's what needs to be reformed. That's what needs to change dramatically. That's the face. If that changed, where it did not become profitable to hurt human beings in any regard or do something against them, and it became more profitable to help them, I'm talking about a more fundamental change, and I don't believe that we were able to, or even at a place that we could even look at it. But I do think that we're moving into an age, the new age.
The age of Aquarius.
Age of Aquarius. No, the new age, really, of our minds being expanded to think of bigger, looking on a much bigger scope than what we have before, and understanding that our actions are going to really matter. What we do behind closed doors really matters. It matters if we create a product and okay a product that is going to be harmful for humanity. It will matter. And that politicians will want to serve the people.
But humans are notoriously short-term thinkers.
I know. I think that's
so,
something
and
that's going to be able to change now because we live longer. Yes, I do believe we're moving into an age that we don't have to think short term, because I think things move quick. I think things are moving quicker. I think technology has rapidly advanced us into the communication world. I think that since that has occurred...
So you are talking about individual responsibility.
I always come back to that. That's the only thing that we can do. Because if we enlighten ourselves, we will become enlightened all together. And each person, even the politicians, will understand the corruption is not going to serve us in the long run.
Well, but it does serve their interests in the short term.
In the short term, it serves their interest. But what will happen is people become enlightened. I truly, truly believe this. And I don't think that we've even been at the cusp of this before. As we really, because the Eastern philosophy has infiltrated America, we have embraced, we become more diverse. I believe that prejudice, even though it still occurs in America, we are the best country that is blending that. We are the melting pot, as in New York they call it the melting pot, and give me, the liberty. Give me your tired, give me your poor.
The whole country is called a melting pot.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So give me your tired, give me your poor. All the poor and the tired came over here. We're not. We're hopefully building our riches, and we're still tired, but damn it, we're going to advance humanity. That's really what America is based on. We're going to advance our own living conditions and also humanity and spread that around the world. I think that that's always been the seed of America, and that everybody's welcome here, all nationalities. As unpleasant as sometimes that is, as we rub together and become better at communicating, having tolerance, having compassion, having understanding towards each other, we will learn here on the microcosmic way how to belong, how to get along, what's important, what's of value, and then also build infrastructures, political. That's what we're really talking about right now, and I'm talking, I know, very esoterically, but political systems that will serve us, that will advance us even further, not to tear us down, because what we have right now tears us down and pulls us apart and divides us. And as long as we continue to say two parties, and we have two parties, we're not going for the best person. It shouldn't be somebody that gets paid very much money. I think I've just affirmed everybody should be able to have their opportunity, pass certain tests, of course, to make sure that they have some type of intelligence, because we're talking about they have a lot of opportunity to make more mistakes that could really be detrimental, like killing us all with the nuclear power that we have. So I want somebody to be intelligent, that's going to be in there and going to be thoughtful and going to be kind and going to have compassion and tolerance. And would I like them to have a religious belief? If they have a spiritual belief in humanity, that's the most important. Do I have to believe that they have to believe the same faith I do? That doesn't matter to me. But what matters is if they really see us as a whole, as all of humanity together, and understand how we move together, because we are going to wipe ourselves off the face of this earth if we don't figure out how to live here.
Humans have reached a unique point in our history, in our human history, and it's only been the past 50 years or so we have developed the capacity to destroy ourselves.
Yes, I know.
And not just locally.
Yes, I know.
Yeah. So I mean, but that actually has also brought some peace to the world. We can't go to war anymore. We can't have all-out war anymore. We can't.
Well, we can, but we'll all die, and it'll be stupider than even just, like, hey, I'm going to wipe you out.
It's no longer a choice.
Right.
Yeah.
I mean, at some point, we have to grow and expand our knowledge to say killing each other is not going to be a way for us to live on this planet together.
Well, you and I have talked about this, and violence is a part of human nature.
I hate that part of us, though. But I know that there's a destructive part.
It does work. There is a destructive nature in us. And so, yeah, you want to take individual responsibility, and then you want to spread your wisdom, and you want to spread your education, and you want to seek enlightenment, and you want to share your enlightenment with other humans, because that's how we're going to get through this. But as far as overturning some fundamental human nature, I don't know that that's possible.
Do we have to overturn it, or can we at least acknowledge it and then acknowledge it and accept it within us, and hopefully feed more of the other side of it, and start at least nurturing the other side and knowing there's the other possibility, because the other side doesn't get a lot of energy, because it
doesn't get a lot of press.
It doesn't get a lot of press, but it doesn't. Also, not everybody understands how to nurture that other side, because it's not discussed. It's not something down on the forefront. We all know how to fear the destruction and the scariness and all the horrible things that happen. And on the news, we get to hear all the horrible things that happen all the time and all the ugliness of humanity, and it gets tiring.
Well, because it makes news. Because it makes the news. It makes the headlines. The news doesn't exist to say, 300 million people went to work and did their jobs today. It exists to say that, these two guys robbed a bank and killed a cop. It doesn't exist.
Why does news have to always be bad?
Well, it's not always bad. If you seek information, the news is not always bad. I mean, I've told you before, I read the LA Times, and it's not just bad news. I read things about history, I read things about art and culture, and I read book reviews, and sometimes it is good news about reconstruction projects, but there's also bad news as well. There's wars going on, there's starvation going on, there's killings going on. There are bad people in the world.
Exactly.
Yeah, and that makes the news, because it's not interesting to say that 200 million people were responsible today. It's interesting to say this group of people killed some innocent men, women, or children, whatever it may be. And that sells soap. That's the expression, but it also sells newspapers. It's a headline, and the media does that constantly. The media takes what should be fairly mundane information and tries to turn it into something interesting, tries to turn it into something shocking or spectacular. Even if you just listen to the lead-ins, their own commercials for themselves.
Their promos.
And they talk about how, the shocking news or something, and it turns out to be pretty freaking mundane, Big news, somebody got pregnant. Oh, big whoop. Somebody got killed. Well, that happens every frickin' day all over the frickin' world. It really does. But they want to make it...
Also, people die every day.
People die every day.
And we don't talk about that all the time, and we really should.
Every second of every minute of every day, someone's dying. All over the world.
And also somebody is being born.
And somebody else is being born. You're absolutely right.
And so shouldn't we really start talking about life as a cycle, a circle, like they did in The Lion King? I'll bring it all back to Disney. That little rat's got something going. He's got a good plan.
Hakuna Matata.
Hakuna Matata. Right, because it is a circle of life.
It
and
really
it is something that
life.
we should start discussing and agreeing on, and being kind to each other while we're here, because it's okay. We used to live, 30, 40 years?
But see, that's your nurturing side, because you're a woman.
Yeah, and you don't have that?
I do have that.
Oh.
I'm very much in touch with my feminine side.
Are you a woman, too?
I am, but I'm a lesbian, but I'm trapped in this body, so that works out okay.
You're trapped in the man's body? Oh, so it works out
so
good
that
for you.
works out okay. I'm also suicidal, but I procrastinate, so that works out okay too. These are the jokes, people. I don't dance.
Ba-dum-bum.
So, I understand the rage, and I understand the desire to dominate, and it comes easy for me because I am a large man, so dominating comes easy for me.
Do you think that women have that as well, as far as dominating?
Sometimes. some women, but some men don't even have it. I mean, people draw a distinction between men and women as if being the woman defines you, or as if being the man defines you. But your genitals don't define you. I mean,
What do they do?
They are a method by which nature recreates more humans.
Is that what the whole purpose is about?
They're the method. But
I think
nature uses to procreate.
that there's you can still do the method, but not procreate.
No.
You can do the method though.
Oh.
You can practice.
Well, that's why nature made it feel good, so we do it. That's why food tastes good too.
So we'll eat it.
We'll eat it. Yeah. And that's
Harry wants to say something really
And that's why
bad.
kids are so cute.
So you won't eat them?
So you won't kill them.
Please don't kill the children.
Yeah.
Wait till they grow up, and then you'll want to kill them later.
And you keep coming back to personal responsibility, and I've talked before about bad parenting. Really, anybody can make a baby. It doesn't mean they know what they're doing. And people in their late teens and early 20s, they're making children. And they don't know what they're doing. They're irresponsible as well. In fact, often being irresponsible is what made the baby in the first place. That's where the baby comes from, because you were irresponsible with your body.
Nature counts on irresponsibility.
Nature does not care. Just go make babies. That's what nature wants. Yeah.
They're like, please
wants...
be irresponsible, please. Come on, you're supposed to make a baby. Come on,
and
make the baby.
It's only humans that have worked up some moral code about this and that, and because in the wild is a brutal place. And
it is a brutal place out there, and I'm so happy that I have a home with a bathtub. Showers are great.
Showers are cool.
God, I love water.
Cold food, fresh food, lights on at night.
Oh my God, a refrigerator,
a
electricity,
freezer, ice cream. I have ice cream in my freezer.
I have a car that I can go anywhere.
Air conditioning in the car.
Oh my God.
How cool
I have
is
a radio
that?
and a CD, and I hardly ever listening to them now. When I was a kid, I'd be like, radio and CD, come on, I need that, man. Now I look for the quiet.
We have just developed this society that is so comfortable and so convenient, and medicine is just absolutely amazing.
And we're going to live till, 80, 90, and probably as I get older, the people will still probably be living older and older.
Sure.
Because we are really wonderful, intelligent creatures. And I just want us to celebrate that more. I want to celebrate that about myself more than what I have been taught, what I've been shown. And that's, really what's important to me. And that's why I think in the politics, and maybe I'm just pie in the sky, but the politics have to start shifting with enlightened people in the position to know that the greater good of them right then is not necessarily the greater good of them for the long run.
Like I said,
and also
politicians make promises, and they have to.
We have to eliminate them having to make promises. That's what I'm trying to say, since we know that's our nature.
But some of the promises are good things. It's not all bad things that they're promising. Some of the promises they make are good things because they're trying to appeal to the majority of the people.
Okay, but not the things that they have to go for campaign funding or corruption that creates the corruption, the things that they have to promise. Maybe promising to take air pollution and build some device that would turn polluted air into oxygenated, beautiful air. That would be a good thing. I would want to invest in that. I'd want our government to invest in that. I'd probably vote for something like that. The Clean Air Act, we spend a ton of money on the Clean Air Act, but we're always going after all the big bad people to have them stop making bad air. Stop. That's a waste to me as far as I'm concerned. Focus on, okay, you have the bad air, and you're probably going to have bad people make bad air. Find some dang cool scientist.
Well, you
see what I'm saying? I'd like to be proactive in that regard.
You're jumping ahead, though. And
into what?
Proactive is one of my favorite words because you don't know that things are bad for you until they start being bad for you.
Right, and then when you do, then you should make a new device or come up with something.
But once you realize it is bad for you, there may be a great deal of economic investment. It's like,
well, of course there is.
So how can you pull all that? How can you destroy an industry and destroy people's lives?
I didn't say destroy.
So the question,
create new.
The question becomes, how many dolphins are worth a paycheck, or how many paychecks are worth a dolphin?
That doesn't equal anything, and I wouldn't want us to kill anything.
We should
if
stop
we don't
cutting
have
down
to.
trees, right? Period. We
No,
should.
Because we actually need. Why? We need trees, and we actually regrow trees. So we actually haven't found a way to replenish.
Lumber is not a renewable resource.
Why?
Absolutely is not a renewable resource
What do you
because
mean?
it takes 100 years to grow and 10 minutes to cut down. That's not renewable.
There's a lot of forest around, though, so don't we
We can't
always
cut
plant.
down old-growth forests. We have to stop cutting down the trees. We have to. We're destroying the planet by cutting down trees.
Aren't we going to need trees, though?
Absolutely. That's what I'm saying. We have to stop cutting them down.
Wait, but don't
Oh,
we
you
need
mean
trees?
we need lumber?
Yeah.
Well, that's no longer a tree once you cut it down. It's now lumber.
Okay.
And yes, we do need lumber for a huge industry, but we have to find an alternative because we got to stop cutting down trees.
That's what I'm saying.
And that's what I'm saying.
No, that's what I'm saying.
So my question becomes, we cannot outlaw lumber. We cannot outlaw.
I'm not saying outlaw things,
well,
though.
I'm saying you kind of have to, though.
Well, if before you outlaw,
because we're going to cut down all the trees and we're going to kill ourselves.
So, okay, now that we know that, isn't it better and more proactive if we build something or make something that is instead of the lumbers and the trees, and we find some way to build it or whatever it is and create that, and then stop doing that once we have an alternative? You
make it sound like it just takes a couple of guys in a dark room to stay up all night a couple of weeks and figure out a solution.
Maybe it does.
No, it doesn't.
You don't know that. There's been a lot of that's been a lot of things that have been created that way. I promise you.
No,
the atom bomb was created that way.
No, the atom bomb was not created that way.
In a month, there was about 30 people, and they were in a laboratory.
There was thousands of people working for years with huge amounts of money in order to devise a weapon that would be so horrible that it would end the war. That's what it was. It wasn't 30 guys in a room for a month.
Well, when Albert Einstein when it was. He wasn't there for very long.
Albert Einstein didn't work on the bomb. Albert Einstein sent the president a letter that suggested the possibility of a bomb. And he said he regretted it, even though I think the bomb is a good thing. But that's a whole other issue.
You mean the atom bomb?
Yeah.
That's not what I read. I want to get our history books out.
Okay, let's do that.
I want to get our history books out because they made him go someplace for 30 days to be in this laboratory to develop the splitting of the atom. And he was quite horribly upset what they did with that information, yes. But nonetheless, he split the atom for them.
It was Einstein's calculations that formed the possibility of being able to develop an atom bomb. But it wasn't him that did it in 30 days.
I didn't say that.
Well, that's how you made it
No.
sound. Yeah,
Nope. Splitting the atom. Nope. I am just saying.
All right,
you're
give us a call.
Give
us a call, and you tell us
if
you think Cassie sounded like she's Albert Einstein in a dark room with 3 other guys for 30 days.
You tell me what I said.
They developed a bomb, yeah.
And he developed the bomb.
The bomb, yeah.
Well, he developed the technology to make the atom bomb possible.
That's still not quite accurate. It was his calculations.
Yeah,
it was his math.
Technology. Come on, dude.
That sort of created the idea that it's possible that we could create a weapon out of that material. So
I want a report.
That's a subtle difference.
I want some homework done on this.
I once said to a girl, it's a subtle and profound difference. And she looked at me and she goes, it's subtle, but it's not profound. Oh, okay.
Only you think it's profound, mister. You are nothing.
She was a nice kid. I got into a conversation one time with another girl. We were having a competition to see who was smarter.
Ah, nice.
I don't know how that came up.
I do.
No, it wasn't me.
I know. I'm sure it wasn't.
It wasn't me.
Yeah, I'm sure it wasn't.
I didn't ask to be brilliant, okay?
I know.
It just happened.
I know. You didn't ask to be a genius. It's a drag.
I didn't ask for that. No, it's not a drag. It's got pluses.
I know.
I don't consider it a drag. I consider it a gift and a responsibility.
Yeah. Well, you do consider it a responsibility, and that's an important thing, and those are the things that I'm talking about.
With great power comes great responsibility. But I asked her if she knew what raconteur meant, and she said yeah, and then I said, well, what does it mean? And like I do with you all the time. As long as you have absolutely no follow-up questions, yes. So she looked at me and she goes, you mean the dictionary definition? Well, yeah. What else is there? What are you reading? You're reading. What else are you reading? You know. What do you think I meant? The garbage pail? Of course they do. So she never talked to me after that.
Yeah. I would guess that she probably wanted
No, we
very
went out
little
a couple
to do
of times, and she
decided that you were smarter than her and get the hell away.
I was good looking at the time too, so.
So what happened? The good looking couldn't hold her.
I don't know what happened. Who knows? Who knows what goes wrong in relationships?
Is Harry sleeping?
I think he's still breathing. I'm not sure.
But is his eyes closed?
His eyes are they're wiggling. They're open a little bit. Yeah,
just barely.
That's a cute kitty.
Yeah. I have my little kitty sitting on my lap. His name is Harry Houdini.
So we were talking about politics. We're talking about science a little bit. We're talking about responsibility for the most part. And I
think every show that we ever do will always come back to that. Pretty much every single theme.
Oh, that's going to get boring quick.
Oh, damn.
Let's talk about race cars.
Yeah.
Let's interview Emerson Fittipaldi, just because I like saying his name.
Wow, you say it very nicely.
So, I don't know how we got off on the atom bomb.
We started talking about politics. We started about responsibility.
We were talking about being proactive.
And we were talking about
knowing beforehand that something is going to be bad.
Right.
There's no way for us to know.
I'm down with that. I understand.
And once we've established...
Did you notice how cool I was?
You're the coolest. You're down with it.
I'm down with that.
You can hang with the brothers. You're hip.
Oh, yeah. Pure white chick, but hey.
We don't know beforehand that something is bad. We only know after the fact that something is bad for you. Medicines, PCBs, DDTs... You don't know going in the consequences of something. We produced automobiles. We didn't know that the pollution was going to get to a point. You know, we dump our waste in the ocean. We didn't know we were destroying the ocean. We didn't know we were destroying the animals. We didn't know. And we're cutting down trees.
And as soon as we find out, when we have new information, this is what the greatest power of all, and what I'm trying to explain in the very beginning, for me anyway, is once we have new information, then let's start moving in another direction. If the economy is all immersed in what we have been building, I'm not saying let's ruin the economy over that. Let's examine, let's create something new, let's work together to find another product, another way, another solution, so we can get out of that industry, so we can do a transition. That's really the type of leaders.
And we do that.
Well, sometimes.
We do that all the time. We do that all over the place. We outlawed DDT. We outlawed PCBs. We're working on new mixtures for gasoline. We made cars cleaner. We made airplanes cleaner.
Okay, we made cars cleaner, but the diesel and the buses and the trucks...
They're being required to clean up as well. Yes, they are.
They are not, because they are big business, and they can have one big
That is part of the problem.
Exactly.
It's huge business.
And you know what? They said no to that, and they have to say yes to that, because the little people have to pay for it.
They have said yes. The new rules are going into effect.
When?
This year and next.
All of them?
All of what?
All of the trucks?
All of the new rules?
Yeah, all of the new rules. They're going into effect when? Come on. Huh? I'm just saying, all the trucks, all the buses, all the stuff that made the money, all the corporations lobbied. So they didn't have to do it, so they didn't have to spend any money because they didn't have to retool. I think that's bullshit.
Well, that is the question then.
That's bullshit. I'm in entertainment. Yes, it is. I'm in the
bullshit.
entertainment industry, and we are geared by the technology. We don't even have a frickin' choice, Dan.
I don't know what that means.
We don't have a choice. When technology moves, we have to retool. Done. Analog's gone. Dead. Digital now. Next. Go. If you're in the business, go. If not, get out. Cut your losses, whatever. It's called business. And you need to move. You can't stop technology. You can't stop the steamroller. If you try, you're going to hold us back. You're going to hold us all back, and you're going to maybe kill us because you're stupid and you're ego-driven and you've got money problems and you're a greedy little son of a bitch. That's what I'm trying to say.
So you think all resistance to change is just because people are greedy?
I think people are either ignorant or greedy or stupid.
Wow.
Yeah.
Direct all your calls to Cassie.
Tell me what you think about that, but you can call in and tell me what you think about that. But I that's what I think, because if I was really rich, Dan, and I had an industry that was extremely profitable, and
but what if you're not really rich? and you have an industry that that's barely hanging on.
If I have an industry that's barely hanging on and it's hurting other people and it's not good for the humanity, for the progression of humanity,
then you would give up your business and you would eat out of garbage cans?
I didn't say that because I don't believe I'll ever eat out of garbage cans. I don't care what I'm doing. I don't care if I have no money. I probably won't eat out of garbage cans.
Yes, you would.
No, because I'd probably go over to a friend's house and eat some of their food.
You have friends. You have friends. So
I'd show up at a door and knock.
You still have this mindset
Yeah.
of modern America.
Yeah.
When half of the world goes to sleep hungry at night, half of the world lives without clean water.
I am so grateful I'm not that half, and I've struggled and worked really hard to not be that half, Dan, because I could have easily been there too.
You easily could, but not because of your own efforts. You didn't lift yourself out of bad fortune because of your own efforts. You're not living in the street. You're not living in dirt and poverty because you happen to have been born white in the United States of America.
But there are some people that are born white in the United States of America that do live in poverty
True.
and in dirt. So you can't say that I happen to have done that because I picked one trait that pretty much guaranteed that I wouldn't do that. That's called work.
You picked a trait?
Yeah. It's called, I'm going to be a workaholic. That's my trait.
You're a workaholic, so it served you well.
It's half and half, but at least I'm not starving and I'm
But
living
there are
on the
people
street.
all over the world that don't even have the opportunity. 50, 60, 70% unemployment. It's not like you can make a choice as to whether or not you're sleeping in the dirt, because the dirt is all anybody has.
That's what I'm saying.
That's what... I'm sorry, what?
If I was in an industry that I knew, and also in America, the homeless situation, don't even get me started on that because that's a huge passion of mine. I think what we do politically is shame. I'm ashamed. It's embarrassing. It's a disgrace, and it's extremely disrespectful. I think how the government and how we're voting certain things in and what we're choosing and our government at our local levels as well as our federal government levels, it's just embarrassing how we're handling our homeless situation and our educational system.
I don't know what you expect people to do. Give away more money?
No.
Collect more taxes and give it away to people who don't want to work?
No, definitely not that. Definitely not that. I have very, very... want me to tell you what I think on the homeless?
If you think we have time.
Let's see. No, we actually don't have time because that's an hour in itself discussion on the homeless. But right. I'm just going to touch on it for a second, and that is... all the money that we have the money. We don't need any more money. We don't need to raise any more money. We have all the money. It's not being appropriated correctly. It's not being utilized correctly. And it's not being thought out about how to help these people truly. We give each person that is homeless right now from the General Relief Fund $340 a month. That, to me, is a waste and a shame. And I'm so embarrassed that we give them a tool they don't even know how to use. They don't know how to use money. That's why they're on the streets. Hello, people. That's what I'm going to say. And that is for me, that's stupidity, okay? And for the government not to understand that and to think that they're equal to what's happening to other people that are working and using the tool of money to get rent, to have a place to rent, to understand how to, appropriate their money and have those life skills. Those are life skills that those people either have decided they didn't want to play with anymore, because sometimes... and most of the time it is a choice for them because they have an opportunity to follow certain rules in certain areas, but they don't wish to.
It's also a choice to be a drug addict, right?
Yes, it is.
It's a choice to be an alcoholic, right?
Yes, it is.
It's a choice to smoke pot all day, right?
It's a choice to do every single thing that each human being does.
Really?
Everything. Oh. I think so. Oh. Absolutely. Do I think that once that choice maybe is made and you don't know how to get out of that choice, might you need a different type of help than just giving you money? Yes, because once that choice is made and they're can you imagine, Dan, being in the sun for even one day in Southern California and not having any shelter or having water? For me, I just can't imagine it because I'd go crazy just in that respect. But there's a lot of really legitimately crazy people on the street. So not only are they affected greatly, but more importantly, and this is where you might think that I'm really inhumane, I'm affected.
I just think it's odd that you say more importantly.
Yeah, more importantly, because it's all about me.
Their pain affects you.
Of course,
it's an odd thing to say.
Their pain affects me greatly, and not only does their pain affect me, but seeing their choice and seeing the situation, and also knowing that I do not have a clear direction to tell them to go, to help them, is of great pain. Because if I, as a person in society, knew that there would be a place for them to go, which I would rather pick one of the buildings downtown and make it a low-income housing building, and I'd want my $320 to go for one person to have a room, bathroom, and a place to clean their clothes and to take a shower and to rest and get out of the sun. It doesn't have to be a big room. It could be this room that we're in right now, Dan, is quite small. It could be this size with everything in it. It could be a jail size.
Well, you and I have talked about this
and
before.
The jail size.
I don't know how you would create that. I don't know how you would impose that.
Impose it? What do you mean? I would just make it. I'd take the funds that General Relief has, and I'd make a building, and that would be the building. And then I would be able to tell the people, if they were on the street, they could go to this place.
That building would fill up in 10 minutes.
And
then you've still got homeless people.
You ready? That building also has some rules with it, and that's the way that you rebuild some stuff.
And then the people that don't want to play by the rules are still on the street.
Right, but now check this out. Now we're very, very clear about who's on the street and who's not, and now we have a better direction, and now we have clear direction to somebody. If they choose that and they ask me for money, do you know what I get to say now? No. You can say that, but not with a clear conscience. I can't. No, because
if you're saying that these people are on the street by their own choice,
yes,
then how is it not? Then how can you not say no to them with a clear conscience? That doesn't make sense.
Because now
there is low-income housing available now, and people don't take advantage of it. Not everybody's getting general relief.
Everybody that is homeless, most of them are.
You don't know that.
I have everybody that I spoke to, that I interviewed, and the cross-section that I have is. There was not one of them.
Which is like 20 people or something?
There was 30 of them.
30.
But every single one was getting it. But
that's not a fair sample, Cass.
Why?
This has to do with sampling.
I know,
Yours is not a fair sample.
But if we're talking, I was interviewing homeless people. What's a fair sample?
But they were homeless who were also involved in programs to improve their lives.
No, they were not. These were people that we picked up off the street, Dan. And the people that were in programs that I actually go through on the programs, I'm not counting those. So you don't want to
give them general relief? You don't want to give them any cash?
I don't want to give them any cash. I don't want them to have any cash. How are you going to feed them? I'll let them have food stamps or whatever, or come get food somewhere.
And you're going to buy them toothpaste and underwear and stuff,
yes.
too? Yes,
that's all part of that, absolutely.
So you're talking about socialism. You know that, don't you?
That part of it, probably. Yeah. If that part of it is socialistic, yes, because that is what's needed, not giving them money to try to not figure out how to take care of themselves again. They need to relearn the tools. They've lost learning how to be part of society.
But if you're going to give them a place to live and food and all, what do they have to learn for? They have to learn nothing. They got a place to live.
Do you know that I told you it comes with rules? It comes with skill builder rules.
And then the ones that don't want to play by the rules, they're still on the street, but you no longer have to feel bad for them.
That's right, because there is a definite way for them to get back. Because they don't want to play
by those rules.
Because then we're all real clear about who's playing by society's rules and then who's not. And then we have a reason to say, you're not welcome in this town now because we've given you away. We've given you an opportunity to get yourself out, because we don't agree that you stay on the street.
And you don't think this system will be beset by bureaucracy and corruption?
No, I do not. I think that, if we set it up properly as far as the foundation.
It'll be run by humans?
It's going to be run by
programmed by people.
No, it's going to be run by humans for sure. There will be some mistakes. I'm not saying that because humans make mistakes, but if the foundation and the thought process of the structure is set up properly with the right things in mind, like our Constitution, it'll be even though our Constitution is pretty dang good. It's withstood 200 years of abuse, and there's a lot of addendums and a lot of changes and
amendments. They call it
amendments.
Yeah, pretty much.
Not addendums.
No, not addendums.
Damn. A lot of things.
Pretty much amendments.
A lot of things that are added on.
Yeah,
that switch.
Yeah.
And that change things that used to be, and
that's one of the things
double back and take the words off of what we put on, and there's so much of that. I mean, and it's withstood that. That's a pretty good foundation for some kind of structure. Now, even though we're messed up and there's a lot of crap here, we're really the best country in the world, and we're the best model to go by.
I hear France is nice, even if they are a bunch of cheese-eating surrender monkeys.
There's just nothing like America. I've been all over the world, and for me, there's just nothing like America. It's wonderful. It's great. You have the freedom here is enormous. And I even have the right to say the wrong word and still, be okay with myself.
It really does come down to individual responsibility. Even the homeless issue would be solved by greater individual responsibility. There would be less war. There would be less hate. There would be much greater compassion. There would be greater other stuff, too. Other good stuff.
Other good stuff. And would you please do this as much as possible? Yes.
You like that?
Yes.
Okay, that's me thinking.
Thank you. That's your, ding, ding, ding. That's your Jeopardy thought signal. Ding,
it really does come
ding,
down
ding.
to individual responsibility.
It really does. And I know that you
not just responsibility for your behavior, but also responsibility for your thoughts.
Words, thoughts, and actions.
Words, and actions.
All equal.
But also understanding the balance between being conditioned, because we are conditioned by bad parenting often, and
I agree.
There are things that you don't control, but understanding that is a huge benefit.
And also working together to overcome our obstacles of being human. We can you talk about focusing on the bad stuff, and frankly, you are focusing on the bad stuff. I mean, you got a homeless situation. Great, let's help them. But there is a lot of people who are trying to help them. I know.
And there's a lot of money going to try to help them.
I know there's a lot of money going to try to help them.
You just think it's
don't think
poorly administered.
Yes.
You think the system is poorly managed.
Yes, and also because some of the organizations know, but they're the ones that are scraping by trying to just get funds to stay alive, because they actually do have a system in place to rebuild the people, because they're not. When you choose to be homeless, they need different kinds of life skills, or to be retaught certain life skills, because they've checked out or they never checked in. One of the two, but they certainly are not part of the working society, making money, generating income, having a household, having a family. They're not part of that norm usually, and going to work every day. I don't know why exactly, because I am not one of them. But I am fascinated by it. I'm intrigued by it. And for me, I study it and look at it to see how I might be able to solve it, to change it for them. And some of the organizations, OPCC, some of the organizations and Sojourn that I have seen are really successful, but they are funded privately. Mostly they get some subsidization from the government, but very little. And I'd rather have our general relief go towards those type of organizations that really know how to help the people. That really know how to, and it's not by giving them money. You do not help people by giving them money. That's my firm belief, unless they know how to utilize that tool to become helped.
Well, again, you have short-term solutions and you have long-term solutions. On the one hand, if someone's homeless, let's get them a house. On the other hand, they're not going to be able to stay in that house unless they learn life skills.
Exactly.
So the same could be true. The same could be said for juvenile offenders.
Exactly.
The same could be said for the prison population.
Maybe for the prison population, but I also don't agree with the way we are doing the whole prison thing, because I think it takes all our money away from our education.
Do we have time for that?
Nah. Can't even touch that. Can't even touch that.
Look at the pretty lines. How much you talked and how little I talked. And I guess I need to speak up a little bit, huh?
No, you're doing fine.
Okay.
You just need to. Yeah, you're doing fine.
Okay. Do I need to get my nose a little closer?
No, it's just a little teeny.
Check, 1, 2. Hey, we did that already.
It's just a little, yeah, it's just a little teeny wave. I just got a little icon on there, not a really big icon. We're fine.
So let's talk about something else then. Let's go back to John Kerry and John Edwards.
Yeah, let's go back to what we originally started talking about, what was politics, because actually, but all that did incorporate politics.
Oh, it's all tied together. And it all comes back to the individual.
It all comes back to the individual, but that's where, I mean, you basically are saying you hope John Kerry and John Edward get into the office because you hate Bush, is what you're telling
me. Wow, did you read that wrong? I heard a great quote the other day, and they were talking about being liberals, and one of the guys says, I forget who he was, but he says, John Kerry has actually been voted the #1 liberal in Congress. I mean, that far out of it's called the Democratic left wing, where he votes for tax cuts, votes for all sorts of regulations, votes for all kinds of strange stuff. And his co-senator. There's two senators from Massachusetts, and the other one is Ted Kennedy. And you don't know either one of these guys' voting records, but you know the names. And the quote was, not only is John Kerry not only is he not the most liberal, I'm saying that, boy am I saying this poorly.
Oof. Not
only is he not the most conservative, oh, never mind. He's not even the most conservative senator from Massachusetts, which means he's more liberal than Ted Kennedy. And John Edwards, he's been 6 years in the Senate, and he's number 4. So these guys are very liberal in terms of their approach. And to me, the Democratic Party is socialist. I did it again. Huh? Okay, it's socialism. They want to take more of my money and redistribute it, and that is.
I don't agree with that. I don't agree.
You don't agree with what I said, or with what they're doing?
No, I'm
yeah.
Both.
Both. No. So you disagree with what I said?
No, I'm kidding. No, I don't disagree with what you said. Oh. I'm just saying that I don't think that any more money needs to be taken from any of us. In fact, I believe in no income tax.
The Republicans.
I believe in no income tax.
I believe in a flat tax.
I'm okay with the flat tax, but I also believe in no income tax because I think we can tax the shit out of all the other stuff that we want to get.
Sales tax?
Just everything that we get and everything that we do, we have enough.
I'm okay with the flat tax, but that would put the whole accounting business out of business. The whole accounting industry would put them out of business.
No, it wouldn't. What would happen is we just retool. We have to stop thinking about money over retooling of what's better for humanity. You follow what I'm saying? That's the shift that I just know is going to happen. I just know it. I just happen to be on the forefront in starting it, and I'll cut the weeds down. But come on, people, come along.
Much of our tax code is rooted in an attempt to manipulate society. It's called social engineering.
I know. That's why I want to stop it, because it's crap.
But a lot of it's good stuff.
No, it's not.
No, a lot of it is good stuff.
What's good about
helping the homeless, for one?
Dan, we're not.
We are.
No, they're pretending to. No, they're pretending to. I promise you, I know.
There's a lot of things that the government does to help people that's good.
Like what?
Like Medicare.
That's crap too. Really, truly, it is corrupt and it is horrible.
I didn't say it wasn't corrupt.
It's corrupt and it's horrible.
Not horrible.
The idea of all those things are great.
So they're just poorly managed.
All of them. Every single one of them. And it is because it's insidious in the government to be corrupt and bureaucratic.
It's human nature. It's human nature.
It is not human nature to be that way.
It's human nature to be selfish.
Yes, but selfish can also... I'm selfish. I don't want the homeless on the street. That's why I'm doing what I'm doing. But I also think in another way, and that is that I care about people. I truly do. And I know there's a whole bunch... I know there's a whole...
That's quite rare. It's quite rare.
I know there's
Go ahead.
I know that there's a whole bunch of other people out there that care.
True.
About people just like I do. And we just don't get our voices out there enough because the destructive and the loudmouths and the corrupt people that play the games, they're always on the forefront being the squeaky wheel or whatever. But I know that we are going to rise. The good people,
Take back the night.
Yeah. Or take back the day.
Take back the day.
You can have the night. We'll just take back the day. The good people can take back the day. I just really believe that that's what's going to happen with the freedom of the internet and the choices and being able to have like our radio show translated into 1 million different languages so other people can understand what we're saying and also grow and expand. And maybe I'm not right about everything and I don't care about that. Maybe I don't know all the answers, and these answers that I said today, I'll probably evolve by more information coming into me. I'll change something so it can become better. But whatever it is, it's always going to be rooted in one thing, and that is me taking responsibility to do the best thing that I can for myself and also my fellow humans, because that's the only thing I really have here. Because everything else is just nothing. It's temporal. My word's the only thing that will have any kind of longevity whatsoever in what I do in the long run. And way past, hopefully, my time, too, if I do something right. If I do something right, then all the things that maybe that I've created will live on 100, 200 years from now and maybe be something to somebody or inspire them or give them another piece of information or another type of idea.
That's the beauty of the written word.
That will lead them to greatness.
As it will survive.
And also the film and the television industry and the radio and the internet and the webcasting.
Well, that's the concern with electronic media is who's to say how long that will last, especially as the format changes. It might be 50 to 100 years, and we won't be able to read any of these DVDs because
we might not be able to
we've lost the equipment to read them, or they deteriorate. The idea was that DVDs would last forever, but they don't. They've stored some of the ones that some of the test ones, and they're actually losing data. So DVDs aren't as safe as people thought. But the written word, I tell you what, thousands of years it can last. So,
but that takes a piece of paper and your lumber that you don't want to cut, you bastard. So
you
better come up with another way to make paper. You just invent another way to come up with make paper, mister. Okay, that's all I got to say.
They have lots of ways. They can make paper out of rice.
Yeah. And rice isn't endangered. Come on, make rice paper.
And I wasn't suggesting that we stop cutting down trees. That's not what I'm saying.
I know you were trying to give me a setup of an example.
I know you,
and I was making the point right back at you. Did you hear it?
No.
My point was make a new industry. Don't cut the other one. Don't cut your nose off to spite your face. I'm not asking for that.
You're not using that expression correctly.
Yes, I am.
No, you're not.
Don't cut my nose off to spite my face?
Still, no, that's not even close.
Damn.
It means something else entirely.
I use that all the time. Tell me, what am I saying wrong?
That's an expression that...
I don't want to stop our economy on something.
But you are talking about
us.
stopping a small section of the economy.
No, I'm talking about changing.
You're talking about putting people out of work.
Changing.
You're talking about putting people out of work.
Wrong.
And creating some other industry to take its place.
Yes, but not putting people out of work. Retooling and changing what this is.
So you're going to have the government retrain these people into the new industry?
No.
Then who's going to retrain these people? They've been logging for 50 years. They don't know any different.
I know.
They're pig farmers. They don't know any different.
Well, pig farming's still okay. I don't know that that'll go out of style.
Even though the manure is destroying communities?
Yeah, sure. But we still eat pigs.
And should we outlaw, big farms?
No. Why?
That's a whole other issue.
Okay.
So, okay.
Oh, damn. So much I got to know.
It's very complicated. The economy is very complicated.
I know, but I'm not. But see, you keep going. You say you're going to shut this down. No, I never said that.
Do I talk like that?
Yes.
Wow, I'm going to quit talking if I sound like that. You keep
saying you're going to shut this down. No, I never said that. And then when I say no, I didn't say, yes, you did. No, I didn't. Yes, you did. Like the little kids that yeah.
Do I talk like that?
Yeah.
I'm going to quit talking altogether then.
Are you?
That's horrible. Yeah.
Oh, you're scared now, aren't you?
That's horrible.
So, no, what I'm saying is when we know something is not healthy for us, we have to give up trying to cover up and be corrupt, and we have to try to figure out a way to work together to create another industry to offset whatever that thing is going to go away, because it is going to go away.
You're back to social engineering.
We have to retool.
You're back to social engineering.
No.
Who's going to do these things?
You hope that the corporations
don't do that.
Yeah, Dan, I'm going to tell you, our corporation does that. We have to retool. I have retooled. I've been in this company for 13 years that I work for. I have retooled 4 times.
That's because your industry keeps having to change itself. That's fundamentally different than whether or not diesel fumes are bad for you.
Yes, of course it is. It's not.
It's fundamentally different because if you don't stay update, then you go out of business.
That's right.
That's fundamentally different than diesel fumes.
Why?
Because the truck driver needs a paycheck,
right?
And the business needs to stay in business.
Yeah.
But diesel fumes are not a problem for the business. Diesel fumes are a problem for the population.
Right.
And the government is deciding.
But wait a second. Check this out.
Based on the general welfare.
Stop. Okay. So here you go. So if the diesel fuel is bad for people, then who will run that machine to have paycheck in the first place? And who's going to, if the diesel fumes, which they're around, and it's bad for people, how can they have a corporation that's going to do bad things and be personally responsible and have a president of that company say it's okay for me to continue making money while I'm killing other people? Now that's what we have to change fundamentally.
The government subsidizes tobacco farmers. Okay?
They're stupid. I would not subsidize tobacco farmers at all. I say no to that. They're stupid.
I say no to that.
Next.
Well, Cassie has spoken.
Now everybody do as I say. Yeah. Go out, people. Be merry.
It's a corrupt system. I don't know. You're asking people to not be who they are.
I'm asking people to take personal responsibility.
How likely is that?
I hope to hell by me saying it and talking about it and us talking about it, that they'll become enlightened and realize that it's actually for their better good and their children.
It's not for their benefit.
It is
It's
for
not.
their children and their children's children. It absolutely is, because otherwise they'll kill us. That's what I'm trying to say. Stop being stupid. Corporations. Presidents of corporations, stop being stupid. Okay? That's what I'm saying. Be
it
a
is
human
not
being.
in the interest of the tobacco farmer to stop growing tobacco.
No, that is not in the interest of the tobacco farmer.
Right.
Okay? But that
Even
farmer,
though he's growing poison.
Right. But that farmer right now is not enlightened and has no freaking clue, because he has been fed a whole bunch of other information and also all this other stuff. Very confusing. So I'm sure he's not a bad person. But if he hears me speaking and we're talking and he has an opportunity maybe to get enlightened or get some new information. It's always about new information, people. It's always about new information. So if he has the opportunity to actually retrieve some new information, he might decide, you know what? I think I could maybe grow beans instead, and I might be better to grow beans rather than tobacco. Or I might grow this, or maybe I'm going to change and be in another industry, and not to be afraid to change. We are so afraid of change, but that's the only thing that's inevitable in this place, is change. That's the only thing that's for sure going to happen. Nothing else for sure is going to ever even happen.
Well, death and taxes.
Okay, those two things. But you hope sometimes taxes may not. But, pretty much as human beings at this moment, that will probably never occur. But I'm actually okay with that, because I understand the reason for me to give. Well, right now I give about 45% of my income, which kind of sucks. But, I feel really comfortable giving 20% of my income to a structuring, governing organization that really is about my best interest, because that's how the government is supposed to serve us, and that's police departments are supposed to serve us. But there's a lot of corruption. So really what we have to focus on next is, how do we eliminate the corruption? How do we eliminate the possibilities of corruption? Those are the ideas and the things that we should be talking about and discussing, putting on the table, so we can eliminate that. We already know in politics, and that's how we started this. In politics, I believe that the root of the corruption is campaign funding, and how the whole campaign issue is, and that they need money, and how that structure is about the funds and them making money and all that, and all the promises and the lobbyists. No more lobbyists. None of those. They're gone.
But not all lobbyists are bad. Some people are lobbying for good things.
But if we don't need to lobby like that.
But see, that's where Congress people get their information, is from people bringing them information.
Yeah,
whether or not they listen to the lobbyist is their choice.
Right, but
to say the lobbyist can't speak his mind,
no, but
that's a violation of free speech.
I'm not saying that the lobbyist can't speak his mind. The lobbyist can, but it's all about money. That the lobbyists go there with money.
The Supreme Court has also decided that giving money to campaigns is free speech.
I understand that, because
that's the problem with campaign finance reform.
I'm saying it's wrong. I'm saying...
Well, again, Cassie has spoken.
That's right. Damn it. Because it's wrong. It creates corruption, and it leads to corruption, and anything that leads to corruption we have to eliminate, and we have to stop at its root.
Well,
we have to make the hard choices.
I'm going to try and pin you down on some serious details as far as campaign finance reform.
I bet you are.
Because that's a very complicated issue.
I'm sure it is.
It is. It's a very complicated issue.
I agree with you.
And there's a lot of
I don't
details.
know shit about it, but let me just tell you.
That's what I'm saying. You don't know shit about it.
I don't know shit
and it's
about
never prevented you before from having an opinion.
Thank you.
A strong opinion.
Thank you.
About stuff you don't know nothing about.
That's right,
Okay.
damn it. Because I will fix the world. It's quite simple.
It's quite simple. Just do what I say.
Just do what I say, and we'll all be okay.
So we need to lobby Congress in order so that they'll pass a law to limit campaign finance. Do you want to limit it? Do you just want to restructure it?
It needs to be totally restructured.
Okay.
Totally, the whole thing.
Okay.
Not even just reformed.
Do you know how it works now?
Yes, I do.
You do?
It sucks.
Well said.
It sucks, and it needs to get better, and I have all the ideas.
You don't know how it works now.
I have
and you have absolutely no idea what you would change.
What?
But we're going to do it your way.
Yeah.
Even though you don't have a way yet. You have a complaint. You have no solution.
I have a solution.
Let's hear it.
I basically think that...
Did you want to write it out and get back to us?
No, but I have a solution.
Okay.
I think that there should be a channel that I'd be happy to pay from our taxes, because we have enough funds. Not getting any more money from any more people, just reappropriating what we already have.
Okay.
and that's where actually our freedom of speech of each contender, and that there's no two parties. There's no parties in that regard. Zero parties. There's only people, and we're all individual people. And we all have our own thing to say, and we get an hour or whatever we decide. And we also have quite a few tests. And also those tests are public.
What if me and 50 other guys want to form a party?
You can if you'd like, and you want to have 50 people and one person in that party, that's okay.
And,
it's just
the 50 of us work for the benefit of one guy that we think should be elected.
That's okay. That's okay, because he's going to have...
Well, that's a party then.
No, not really. Because, see, it's not on the ticket. It's a person, not a party. You can have 50 people, but Dan is representing 70 people, or 70 people are helping him get elected. You can still have 150 million people help you get elected. That's people support, and that's direct.
Okay.
People support is different.
So you're just
but no
unhappy
money.
with the label.
No money. Yeah, and no labels. No
Okay.
money, no labels, no walls, no divert.
See, the label helps people.
I know it does, but it hurts everyone else.
No. The label helps the public.
No, it does not.
Yeah,
it hurts them.
No,
and
the
it
label
makes them
helps
not
the
think, Dan. It makes them not think, because all of a sudden
labels help people.
No, it does
Cass.
not. It doesn't help
does.
people.
Labels help people understand things.
Like what?
With just a simple word. If I say,
but see,
any word helps.
People say that I'm a Democrat. If people say that, hey, you're a Democrat, but you don't believe everything a Democrat believes. Oh, do you believe this? Do you believe that? You have to give them all these variations. Are you a liberal Democrat? Or are you a conservative Democrat?
Exactly.
Are you, blah, blah, blah.
So you have additional labels.
I know. It's like, but it's
if I choose to call myself a Democrat,
yeah,
then I accept that as my label, and no one's telling me that I have to be anything.
I know, Dan, but you know what? Society is telling people they have to pick one of those two parties.
No, they don't. You can be libertarian. You can be
green. You can be, but nobody ever talks about those other parties. There's only two parties. The two parties are the only ones that get on the air right now. The other parties aren't even allowed airtime.
I didn't say it wasn't corrupt.
Thank you. I'm saying
Ralph
that it
Nader
is.
just had a debate with Howard Dean.
Great.
So how can you say they don't get on the air? They were on the air.
Dan, they had to pay for that. And also they had to fight.
They were on public access.
They had to fight really hard to actually have that. And also they didn't get equal time to the two big parties. Are you trying to tell me you don't have a two-party system right now?
We have one party. What are you getting mad at me for? We have one party.
Okay,
and they're all corrupt.
Okay, thanks.
So what are you getting mad at me for?
Okay, why are you getting mad at me? I'm telling you.
I'm not mad at you. I'm trying to explain things to you.
I'll cut you.
Bring it on.
I'll cut you. You shut up or I'll cut you.
No, it's okay. It's okay. Just go to sleep. See, and we're back to the violence thing. I know. You talk about individual responsibility and compassion, and as soon as I disagree with you want to kill me.
Thank you. My sentiments exactly.
Okay, I make it sound like a bad thing, huh?
I'm just putting you out of your misery.
We've had this conversation before. You can talk about these grand ideas about enlightenment and love and compassion and respect. And then you get stuck in traffic and you're screaming at the guy in front of you, right? And all that goes out the window.
All that's gone then. Sorry ass.
Get the hell off my freeway.
Yeah, you sorry ass. Dan, so the reform that I'm talking about is much greater than having the structure that we have and then just changing it a little bit. It's so much different. It's the landscape of what I design in my mind of how we would not be politically corrupt or be even potentially be able to go towards a corruption because of our human nature. I foresee things that I would build things that we would only have people that would want to be helping people, because the people that would be corrupt wouldn't be in that situation because they couldn't make any money off of it. They couldn't be corrupt in this situation.
I just don't see how you're going to create a system that nobody has ever been able to create before.
Because I'm really smart.
You're not that smart.
What?
You're a nice girl. You're not that smart.
Huh?
You have.
What happened? I thought I was smart.
You're ambitious. You're educated. You're enlightened.
And I will come up with a solution.
You're not smart enough to do the impossible, which is to overcome human nature.
No, I'm not going to overcome human nature. I'm basically going to build some policies that will eliminate us from
corruption.
That will eliminate us from having the possibility of becoming corrupt within an
We're
organization.
already corrupt.
I know.
So how are you going to create an institution that denies human nature?
Not denies.
That overcomes.
Overcomes.
Human nature.
Not denies. It will accept
distinction without a difference. How
I'm sorry, we have no more time.
You give us a call and you let us know if you're a Republican or Democrat.
Yeah, if you're one of the stinking two parties that's really a one-party system.
Republicrats and Democrats.
The Republicats.
The Republicrats.
Oh, the Republicrats.
And the Democans.
Well, you know, because...
And you call and you help Cassie figure out what she's talking about, because I'd love to hear more details about this institution that you're going to create that overcomes human nature.
Hurry, call me with all the answers.
Yeah, call her with the details, would you?
Hurry up and tell me. Everyone, Dan, don't listen, Dan. Everyone, Dan, I'm just talking for a second. Dan, listen. No, not you, Dan. Don't listen. Listen, people. Call Ann. Email me.
Yeah.
Email.
Give her some details, would you? She's really got to flesh out this plan a little bit.
I need some help.
My therapist kicked me out of her office. She said I didn't have enough problems.
You said that joke at the beginning.
I was bringing it full circle.
Okay.
Let's call back.
Bada bing.
Bada bing.
It's been super talking to you today, Dan.
Hey, nice to talk to you. Give us a call.
Well,
as soon
not
as
right.
we get a number.
Yeah. Not right now. Because we're done for...
Now is not good.
Now?
Yeah.
Don't call us now.
Don't call us now.
Email us now.
Call us later.
But don't... Yeah. When we're back on the air.
When we're back on the air.
And we tell you to call again.
We don't know when that's going to be.
We don't. But then, call again.
Call us then. Search for us on your radio dial.
Where is Dan and Cass? Where is Dan and Cass?
The Cass Dan Show.
I think Dan and Cass is better.
Do you?
Yeah.
I don't want top billing.
Okay.
I like the shadows.
Yeah, right. The big guy likes the shadows.
I'm a backstage kind of guy. I'll let somebody else have the spotlight.
Yeah, I'm the bronze and you're the brains. Damn.
I really think you better go with the opposite.
I think it's funnier
it
that
is
way.
Funny, though. Yeah.
If you see us.
Yeah.
When you see us, it's funny.
Because I'm really stupid and she's big. No, wait. What? I got that wrong, didn't I?
You're big.
I'm big,
and I'm littler than you.
We're all stupid.
Yeah.
God bless America.
Wait a second. I thought you were
the
genius.
Stupid can rise to the top.
I thought you were genius, man. You're going to stay on the bottom.
That's a fine line, I'll tell you what.
Yeah, between genius and stupidity.
You know, genius doesn't mean you're perfect.
No, we know that.
I've done a lot of stupid things.
We know that.
Yeah.
You didn't even know that was a dig to you, though. That's what's so funny. You went, yeah, you're all happy. He's smiling over here. Didn't even know I was giving him a little dig.
Genius is just a relative term, and being smarter than the
and my relative is a genius.
Hey-o! And being smart. And being smarter than the average man, that's not really much of an achievement, frankly.
No, it's not.
No.
But we all try.
We try. Yeah,
and we continue to do our best. And I'm going to spread my love as much as I possibly can. Here, kumbaya, everybody.
Kumbaya. Hakuna Matata. Wait, Hakuna Matata. I was close.
Batabuta batata.
It's Hakuna Matata.
Mamuda Shamata?
Don't worry, be happy. You can't. I was gonna say you can't make stuff up, but hey, you can make stuff up.
Yeah, I can.
Yeah, you can.
I do it all the time.
Yeah.
Bastubasasada?
You just have to tell us what it means.
It means see you later, alligators.
See you later.
Have a great one.